Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Are you ready to blaze a trail to the Valley of the Sun in the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show? We'll give you a preview of some of the great experiences Phoenix has to offer for cattle producers and their families.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. This time around, we're giving you a preview of the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show that'll take place in the warmth and sunshine of beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. This is the oldest and largest national convention for the cattle business, and 2018 will mark the 121st annual convention. Now, if you're in the cattle business, the convention in Phoenix is the place to be. So today, we're going to bring you a special preview of the convention, including some of the plans for the NCBA trade show, as well as great education and entertainment. Plus, we'll get a look at some of the agriculture and beautiful sights you'll find when you travel to Arizona. We sent Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz to Phoenix to help blaze the trail for us. And we begin with an overview of some of the outstanding, unique experiences Phoenix has to offer. Russell?
Well, Kevin, I sure hope others will join you, myself, Lane Nordland, and the entire Cattlemen to Cattlemen crew here in Phoenix, January 31st through February 2nd for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. And as we've been discussing, there's plenty to do, not only at the convention, but really the entire Phoenix area. And to share more of the details of exactly that, we have Tammy Vo from the city of Phoenix with us today. And gosh, you guys are excited to bring cattlemen and cattlewomen back to the Valley of the Sun. Let's start with the convention center, because for folks that haven't been to downtown Phoenix for quite some time, this place has really changed.
It has, and let me just start by saying, if you haven't been to Phoenix lately, you haven't been to Phoenix. I mean, we're standing right now in the mecca of downtown, and if you haven't been here in a couple years, just taking a look around, it looks totally different.
I think 2009 was the last time the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show was right here in downtown Phoenix. And for the convention center itself, there's a lot of newness here.
It's a beautiful facility, and if you walk and you kind of feel, one of our major tools here is the sun, right? You walk and you feel the sunlight throughout. It's really reflective of the Sonoran Desert, so you'll walk in and kind of just feel those patterns and that feeling as you walk through the facility. It's a gorgeous facility.
You know, one of the draws of Phoenix during the winter time is obviously the temperatures, and boy, you talk about the end of January, the 1st of February, the temperatures are going to be just right, that Goldilocks forecast, if you will. Not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Well, we get over 300 days of sunshine here in Phoenix per year. February, the average temperature is going to be in the low 70s, so as a lot of your members are probably digging out of the snow, trying to get on that plane to get here to Phoenix, make sure they pack two things, okay? Flip-flops and shorts, because when they get here, they're going to need it. The weather is going to be gorgeous.
Absolutely. Now, for folks that may not be taking in all of the convention activities all day long, there's certainly a lot of local attractions here that appeal to the entire family.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple different options for you. So if you're a family, there are a lot of things for the kids. There is the Children's Museum, that's within walking distance. There's the Arizona Science Center, which is for kids, that's within walking distance. Maybe you want to head to the zoo. That's not too far away. The weather outside is going to be perfect that time of year. Also, there's sporting events downtown. Maybe your kids want to catch a game. Maybe they want to catch an NBA game. There's the Phoenix Suns, which they could walk to right in the downtown area. Maybe catch a hockey game as well. Spring training is also coming up that time of year. So a lot of family fun activities.
Well, I know one thing. Those of us in agriculture, what we really like to do too on trips like this is eat. And I understand there's a plenty of great restaurants and steakhouses that, well, quite frankly, serve up one of our favorite proteins, and that's beef.
You know, downtown Phoenix and Phoenix in general can be a foodie's paradise. So you talk about the beef, but I have a feeling maybe some of your members might want to venture off and try something different. Of course, we're known for our killer Mexican food. And downtown, there are so many different types of cuisines for different palates. We have a ton of award-winning restaurants here within walking distance.
Love that. I do. I absolutely love that. Hey, before we let you go, I mean, talk about the fact that one of America's pristine treasures is really just a few miles away, so to speak. Of course, we're talking about the beautiful Grand Canyon. And if folks have a little bit of extra time, they may want to put that on their travel plans.
I think it's a great idea to make a trip, a weekend, if not longer, out of this visit to the Phoenix area. Just over 3 hours away, you can head up to the Grand Canyon. It is majestic if you've never been there. You look at pictures, but it just does not do it justice. So absolutely, that's one suggestion. You could do a day trip, you could do overnight, and you will not be sad that you did that. Also, I should mention golfing. I don't know if any of your members golf, but we have some of the best award-winning courses here in the country. The weather's going to be gorgeous. And not only that, the Waste Management Open, if you want to watch golf and not play, is also going on that weekend. You could enjoy that as well.
Hey, Tammy, one more question before we truly let you go. I mean, you've rattled off quite a few things for all of us to do the end of January and the 1st of February when we're back here in Phoenix. As we make our travel plans, is there an easy online resource tool that you folks at the City of Phoenix make available so we can make our travel plans?
Sure. You know, the city's website is a great resource, phoenix.gov. It has a lot of the information on there about, and it'll link you to our airport, Sky Harbor International Airport. So that's a great resource. Also, Visit Phoenix is another organization locally who will help a lot of your members get here. So we are so excited to welcome all the members from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association to our great city, the 5th largest city in the world. Come on down. We're excited to have everyone here.
Well, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time to join us on Cattlemen to Cattlemen to give us such a wonderful preview.
Thank you so much. Are you enjoying it? Are you excited?
We love it. Absolutely love it. So we'll see you back here.
Born and raised here, I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
We're not disappointed. We'll see you back here, Tammy. And for you, Kevin, I know those white, pasty cowboy legs of yours don't get a whole lot of sun, so make sure you pack plenty of sunscreen, and don't forget to throw in those flip-flops and shorts that Tammy Vo mentioned during this segment. Again, we invite everybody to blaze a trail here to beautiful Phoenix, Arizona for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. And with that, we'll go ahead and send it back to you in the studio.
No doubt there will be plenty to see and do around Phoenix during the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. And there will be some can't-miss speakers and events as part of the convention itself. For example, Reed Drummond, the pioneer woman, famed for her cooking abilities, as well as being part of an Oklahoma cattle-producing family, will be the keynote speaker at the opening general session on Wednesday, January 31st. Registration for the convention is open now. You can get more details, find out about travel and housing, and sign up for the whole convention or just to attend one day at the website ncba.org. No one is more excited for the upcoming convention than the Arizona cattlemen and women who will play host in Phoenix. Russell Nemitz visited with the folks at the Arizona Cattle Growers to find out a bit about the issues they face every day, as well as their hopes for the gathering in Phoenix. Russell?
Well, excitement is growing as Arizona gets ready to host the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. And today finds us in the office of Patrick Bray. He's the Executive Vice President of the Arizona Cattlemen's Association and the Arizona Cattle Growers Association. And Patrick, let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in the desert as far as your two associations go, because there's a lot of industry issues happening right here in the great state of Arizona that are impacting your own cattlemen and cattlewomen these days.
That's right. There are a ton of issues. There's no shortage of work here for us at the Arizona Cattlemen's. We work primarily a lot on federal lands issues. We work downtown at our capital on water issues, wildlife issues, the Mexican gray wolf. We're always looking at trade issues with Mexico. Just an abundance of issues that we work on here at the Cattlemen's.
You know, how important is it for cattlemen and cattlewomen here in Arizona to have not just one, but two associations working on their behalf every single day? Because like others across the nation, they're busy out there doing what they do best, and that's raise high-quality beef.
That's correct, and we're kind of a unique office, and we're proud of it. We house both the Arizona cattle growers, the cattle feeders, and the Arizona Beef Council. So we're a one-stop shop for producers here in Arizona, everything from policy work to education and promotion.
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the segment, in 2018, Arizona, more specifically here in Phoenix, the greater Phoenix area, you guys are going to host the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. How excited are you to bring this national convention, thousands of cattlemen and cattlewomen from across the country, back here to the desert?
We're really excited to have cattlemen come into Phoenix. I think it's a unique venue for individuals to come. Definitely the weather is going to be great. It always is. Get out of that cold snow. We definitely don't have any hurricanes going on, so we're really pleased to host the convention this year.
You know, talk about the relationship that the Arizona Cattlemen's Association, along with the Arizona Cattle Growers Association, has with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and why that is such an important relationship to your members and non-members for that matter.
Our relationship with NCBA is critical, and we see them as an equal, and we work hand in hand on a lot of our issues, especially when it comes to federal lands and some of these endangered species issues. We rely heavily on working with our folks out of Washington, D.C. To get things done there for us.
You know, do you have an invite for all the cattlemen and cattlewomen who are watching this that have been, well, maybe or maybe not? You know, I mean, it's right here in their backyard if you call Arizona your home, and you just love to see folks here in Arizona join us in Phoenix, and of course from across the country join us here the end of January, 1st of February.
You know, cattle is one of the major ag segments in Arizona, and we're very proud of that. And I think people should come down and join us because I guarantee you there's going to be sunshine and great weather for the entire convention.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being with us here on Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Kevin, we've been visiting with Patrick Bray, the Executive Vice President of the Arizona Cattlemen's Association, along with the Arizona Cattle Growers Association. Again, we're sending out a big invite to blaze a trail and join us here in Phoenix, January 31st through February 2nd for the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. With that, we'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Still ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll take you to a family farm in Arizona cotton country. And next, we'll find out about some great steakhouses you just may want to try while you're in Phoenix. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello everybody, Stormy Warren here from SiriusXM's The Highway. Congratulations on your record-breaking 2017 Cattle Industry Convention right here in my backyard in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, let's see if we can smash more records in 2018. Blaze a trail to Phoenix, Arizona and the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. Meet up with thousands of your fellow cattlemen and women and have a whole lot of fun. You can laugh along with the always funny Bill Engvall at the Cowboy Comedy Club and get valuable information at the general sessions where you just might see this guy. Plus, explore 6 acres of displays at the NCBA Trade Show. Join me and blaze a trail to Phoenix for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, January 31st through February 2nd. You can find out more at beefusa.org.
Welcome back to NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. We're focused today on Phoenix, Arizona, and plans for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. That trade show, by the way, is the largest cattle industry trade show with hundreds of exhibitors. In Phoenix, it'll cover more than 6 acres, and you'll be able to find anything and everything to do with the cattle business, from tractors and balers to working chutes and cowboy boots. It's all there for you. And after some time in the trade show, you may be looking for a great steak. In fact, our friend Brian Baxter has been on a scouting mission to track down an outstanding steakhouse. And in Phoenix, he found more than a few to check out.
After you blaze a trail through the desert and make your way across more than 6 acres of displays at the NCBA trade show, then you just might be ready to find a great steak. And in Phoenix, you won't be disappointed. This is a beef town. If you prefer historic and traditional, then the Stockyards may be the choice for you. It's known as the city's original steakhouse. It was founded in 1947 on the site of the Phoenix Stockyards.
The original Phoenix Stockyards were established in 1919 on this site. And so as the stockyards grew, there became 200 acres, 40,000 head of cattle. So a lot of cowboys. So they opened a cafe in 1947. There was a fire in 1953, and then the restaurant was built big like this in 1954, and the bar was added, the murals were added, a lot of the other features in the restaurant were added at that time. 1889 Saloon is because the original brand, the first registered brand in Arizona, was the Circle Walking L, and that was the Tobry family brand. The Tobrys established the pens and the restaurants, and so it was registered in 1889.
From dark wood paneling to low lighting and stiff drinks, the Stockyards is the perfect combination of history and great aged steaks.
Ribeye is a great steak. We have New York strip. We've got a nice 20-ounce porterhouse. We've got different sizes, and we've got every prime cut you're looking for. So it's a landmark. It's very well known, and there's very little like it. We'd love to have all of your attendees come in and check it out. Just check out the history, check out the old historic photos, the hand-carved bar. We'd love to get as many of your group in as possible and show the place off to them. I think they'd really enjoy it.
While the traditional steakhouse is always a great choice, if you're looking for something a little different, then check out one of the newcomers to the Phoenix steakhouse scene, Steak 44.
Steak 44 was the second restaurant we opened up after we had sold our company in the past. We decided to go with market trends just a little bit more. People were looking for a little more variety, less large portions, so we made smaller portions on steaks and also had the bigger portions available. We tried to modernize the steakhouse as you know it, and in the kitchen, glassed it in so everybody could see what we're doing, which made it fantastic for the guests. And also, we kept with what we normally do, and that's cut all beef in-house, work with the same company to make sure things aged right. I go visit the farms and make sure that everything is up to standards on what I do, and we just have a very good relationship with what we do, where we get our product from. I always look for a top end in prime, and we also have some Wagyu cuts that come out of Pacific Northwest. I've been working a little bit with domestic Wagyu that's been being bred with Angus, obviously. That's kind of a common thing right now. And trying to work those into what we do, not make it a focal point, but give variety. It's all about variety.
And for a little wow factor at mealtime, along with the great steak, head to Scottsdale and check out the rooftop poolside dining at Dominic's.
Well, Dominic's Steakhouse came from the Mastro family's grandfather, and it was their grandfather's name, so that's how the restaurant name came about. It's either granite or marble from pretty much ceiling to floor, big marble bar top that goes to a gigantic liquor display that's lit from underneath. And then there's an upstairs, and we have a reflection pool on the upstairs. So it's about 16 inches deep. You dine around it. The roof opens up, so you can have open air and with the water, the sound of the water. It's just a nice feature.
The dining experience might be different in all three places, but one thing you can count on, beef is the star on each steakhouse menu.
The sterling silver brand that we use is extremely consistent on the marbling, the size of the eye on the ribeyes, the marbling on it. I think it's just come a long way. And the cattlemen I talk to say there's a lot more technology being used now, that when you see the animals in the feedlots, that the chassis all looks the same, and they really kind of got the thing down. So consistency is really the key for me. And I think the beef industry is doing a fantastic job with that.
You know, I've actually had the pleasure of talking to a lot of cattle producers and the different things that I've done across the year. And what I always, since I'm the end user, I always tell them the same thing on what I see in beef, the quality I see. I just always try to tell them the same thing, that the end result on what they go for and the end result in what they're doing is a fantastic steak in front of a guest that I want to come back.
So don't miss your chance to try some signature steaks and put some extra sizzle in your visit to Phoenix. I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Besides great steaks, there's plenty to do after hours in Phoenix. On Thursday night, the convention will feature a Phoenix Fiesta that will be an outstanding surprise treat with fun and entertainment for cattlemen and women. And in downtown Phoenix, there are plenty more places to have a little fun. Russell Nemitz has the details. Russell?
You know, as we all get ready to blaze a trail to here in Phoenix, Arizona for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, Marvin, all jokes aside, there's a lot of important work being done at the convention itself, but there's also plenty of time for a lot of fun. And, well, we've had a tough job these past couple of days checking out some of the sights and sounds here in the Valley of the Sun, haven't we?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that cattlemen really expect from our convention is a time to have fellowship. You know, there are 175 bars and restaurants in downtown Phoenix. There's so much to do, just a tremendous vibe. This city has changed so much. I'm excited to bring cattlemen here. This is a new town. There's so much to do. Great steaks, great, just every kind of cuisine you'd ever want. You can have it here in Phoenix.
Let's talk about where we're doing this segment at the Deuce, which is just outside of the convention area in downtown Phoenix. What a fantastic, fun place.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I can see the convention hotels from the entrance of the bar. It's just, it's got a great feel to it. I've met the owner. The owner actually is so excited for cattlemen to come here. I mean, he is all in Phoenix. He's just one of the many business owners that are excited to have cattlemen here.
Well, it's been some time, 10 or 11 years, since the cattle industry has been here in Phoenix, and I'll tell you what, they've done themselves a little bit of a facelift. They've actually are preparing to roll out literally the red carpet for cattlemen and cattlewomen.
That's exactly right. And again, I had the mayor's office call me up, and they said, Marvin, we're in. We're excited to have the cattlemen here. We want you here.
You know, and we've also been checking out some of the fantastic steakhouses. Tonight we visited Stockyards, and we also Steak 44, and talk about just two places here in the greater Phoenix area to get a delicious steak.
Yeah, I want the, Steak 44 upscale steakhouse, and then the Stockyards, iconic steakhouse, where actually the original home of the steakhouse was actually the home of the largest feed yard in the whole valley. So we got a lot of history here, just a lot of great beef industry to share in the city of Phoenix.
Well, that's the Old West at its best, and of course we invite folks to pack their boots and blaze a trail to the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show happening right here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, January 31st through February 2nd. Reporting for Cattlemen to Cattlemen for Marvin Kokash, I'm Russell Nemitz.
It looks like those two are having a little bit of fun. And after the work is done at the Cattle Industry Convention, then on Friday night, it'll be time to relax and laugh with the exclusive Cowboy Comedy Club. Colin Mockery and Brad Armstrong from Whose Line Is It Anyway will kick off the evening and then make way for headliner Bill Engvall, a founding member of the Blue Collar Comedy. It'll be a great night, and the show is included with your convention registration. You can get all the details at the website ncba.org. Stay with us. We'll have more from Phoenix right after this.
Forward. It's more than a direction. It's mandatory, because the beef business rewards the progressive, the doers. The ones who know what it takes to go easy on cattle and never set them back. So set your eyes on the horizon, turn your back to the wind, and move your herd the only way you know. Forward. Vista Vaccines. Always ahead.
There is a new world out there, revealing itself in unpredictable ways. A world that demands more from the land and those who grow, farm, and build on it. This new world calls for the ingenuity to get more out of it while preserving as much as we can. After all, to stay ahead of tomorrow, we need to be equipped for it today.
Welcome back. We're looking ahead to the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show that'll bring thousands of cattlemen and women and their families to Phoenix, Arizona from January 31st through February 2nd. Besides the fun, the business, and the networking of the Cattle Industry Convention itself, the Phoenix area has a lot to see and do, especially if you enjoy escaping winter with sunshine and warm weather. And if you like Western art, there's a great place to visit, just a short drive from the convention center, as we learn from Russell Nemitz. Russell?
Well, Phoenix, Arizona is indeed very excited to host the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show. And of course, there's always a ton to do and see at the convention itself, but Phoenix itself has a lot to see and do as well, and a must-see if you're coming to this year's Cattle Industry Convention is the Western Spirit Scottsdale's Museum of the West in Scottsdale, Old Scottsdale to be more specific. And with us on the segment today is their museum director and CEO, Mike Fox. And holy cow, Mike, I mean, seriously, if you have a passion for the Old West or Western art, this is the place to come and see.
Well, this, we hope, will be indeed the destination for your members, and we will welcome them and really look forward to their experience here.
You know, walk us through the museum here in Old Scottsdale, because there truly is something to see and do for everyone of all ages. We just happen to be standing in this particular gallery, 1,400 plus pieces of authentic cowboy and old Western gear.
Indeed, this is an extraordinary collection, probably one for which you will see more spurs and bits and bridles and any other institution for which might have some special collections themselves. This is an extraordinary collection, historic saddles, and just a whole story about the cowboy of the American West. And it's a collection that was amassed by one individual over a course of about 40 years. So we have the privilege to be able to present it to the public and have them experience it in some very special manner.
And of course, the Old West has a rich history of basically lawmen and those outlaws, and part of this gallery showcases that part of American history.
Indeed it does, lawmen and also prisoners, those wonderful items which they made with horsehair in the prisons, and the rodeo, and the Western films and so forth. So we have a wonderful collection that, as you mentioned, includes about 1,400 works in this particular gallery. Of course, this is one of 7 galleries, so this is just the tip of the iceberg of what the visitor might be experiencing when they're here.
You know, absolutely. You mentioned it. There's several different galleries here at the Western Spirit, Scottsdale's Museum of the West. And for those Western art enthusiasts, when you go upstairs, you're going to see some magnificent pieces from all sorts of artists, 2 notables, Frederick Remington and C.M. Russell.
Indeed. Those are really quite extraordinary artists, as we all know, and the works which we have are just stupendous. And the beauty of what is upstairs is the story of the American West, historic to contemporary, and certainly the Cattlemen is well represented in so much of the storytelling about the West. So many of the paintings and sculptures which we have deal with what the Cattlemen deals with in their own life way to this day, and so I think it will resonate very much with your attendees.
Yeah, and what would the Old West and history be without a collection recognizing and celebrating Native Americans too? And they're going to see that here at this museum.
They will indeed. We will have a major exhibition of Hopi pottery that will be on display, and it is now a gift of this institution. And it truly is the finest collection representative of 7 centuries of Hopi creations. So that would be one example of a number of other wonderful Native American art that is on display throughout this institution.
Well, I absolutely love this museum, and we could seriously go on for hours. A couple of other things that really caught my eye during our tour here in Old Scottsdale. I'm an old Western movie buff, for those old spaghetti Westerns. For others like me, talk about the old Western movie poster collection here at this museum.
Well, we are so fortunate, along with Arizona State University, to have acquired a collection, the single largest collection of Western posters, going back to the late 1800s to the present, actually. And we have a collection of about 5,000 of them. We have a really significant exhibition that really celebrates the contribution of the Western film and what has caused for people all over the globe to better appreciate our American West through the Western films.
You know, I just want to wrap up talking about the building itself. I mean, the museum is relatively new. It was built in 2015, as I understand. It's quite a magnificent piece of architectural magnificence in itself. I mean, talk us through the building, because one of the new buzzwords in agriculture is sustainability, and this building does all of that and more.
It is an institution that really helps to bridge the Old West with the New West, and so the architects have met that challenge and have, with the selection of materials, with the design of this building, have helped to see that we indeed are meeting that objective of ours of wanting to connect the Old West with the New West and also looking to the future. There are numerous ways for which this building really speaks to our sensitivity and responsibility to the American West.
Well, we certainly thank you for giving us a little bit of your time to describe the awesomeness here at the Western Spirits Scottsdale's Museum of the West facility and all that's included here at this particular facility. Again, we've been visiting with Mike Fox, the museum director and CEO. And Kevin, this place is just one of the many things to do if folks are making plans, like they should be, to join us here in the Phoenix area for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. With that, we'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Thanks, Russell. Those vintage cowboy movie posters are pretty cool. Now, don't forget, if you'd like to join me and a few thousand other cattle folks in Phoenix for a once-in-a-lifetime experience, all you have to do is register for the Cattle Industry Convention and you're in. There's so much to see and do. Find out more and get registered now at the website ncba.org. Still ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll take you to an Arizona cotton farm. And next, we'll hear about some of the valuable education available at the 25th Annual Cattlemen's College coming up in Phoenix. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Say goodbye to your toughest pasture and rangeland weeds for good. Because one product offers season-long control, handles the widest spectrum of broadleaf weeds, and clears the way for increased forage with greater grazing flexibility. So you get more beef per acre at a cost that can't be beat. It's Grazon Next HL herbicide, and if it's in your pastures, plain and simple, weeds won't be.
No matter what job I've got to do, my John Deere 5E tractor will do it all. Whether I'm cutting, moving feed, or building a fence. Using my 5E means my work gets done faster at a price I can afford, and that works for me.
Phoenix is not only home to the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, it will also play host to the 25th Annual Cattlemen's College on the Tuesday of Convention Week. And joining us now to talk about that is Josh White, the Executive Director of Producer Education for NCBA. Josh, this year marks the 25th anniversary for Cattlemen's College. What does that mean?
Well, it's pretty exciting. You know, we always say we add value for cattlemen, come on early and attend Cattlemen's College. But this year I think is going to be like other years where we not only challenge the industry and come out with some great information, great research that gets the whole industry talking about big issues, but it also has something for every cattleman to take home. and say, how can I make a difference on my farm or ranch?
And so give us a little bit of an overview of the session itself.
Sure. Well, you know, we have a tremendous number of opportunities, a lot of different sessions. One really unique thing this year is we're going to do a whole track outside at a demonstration arena, so we'll be able to interact with live cattle. We'll be talking about bull selection with some live bulls and all the data that we have today. How do we balance those things? We'll also be talking about RFID and some of the technologies available for ID and computer software to manage all of that information. So we'll have a lot of fun with that live demo arena. We also have Arby's CEO kicking things off. He'll be coming and talking about the We Have the Meats campaign, and they've had tremendous success with that, you know, featuring a lot of beef items, real friend to beef and marketing a lot of beef. So it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say.
That will be exciting. And what some people may not realize is how you utilize actual participant and cattle people input to actually design the program. Tell us about that.
That's right. So we pay close attention to what our folks that attended the past few years have been telling us in the surveys and what we hear on site. So we've done something different. We had a contest this year to actually engage producers to say, what are your favorite topics of this list that we've already assembled? And we're actually offering several of those on Tuesday afternoon as well as Wednesday, because that's some of the feedback we received was, you know, I'd really like to see more of these live, even though we've provided the opportunity to view the recordings afterwards or to see the slides and hear the audio. So we're going to have more opportunity for you to hear, for each producer to hear the most, highest rated topics that we've put on the sessions this year.
And speaking of those high-rated topics, I know it's hard to select just a couple of topics or key speakers that you're going to have this year, but could you give us a glimpse of a couple of the sessions that you want to highlight?
Well, some things that really interest me, I know every producer is different, but we're doing a session on capturing maximum value in the beef industry, and it really goes all the way back to the Lost Opportunities paper that Chuck Lambert did in 1991 that really spawned the first national beef quality audits and the beef quality assurance revolution in our industry. We're taking a hard look at some of the assumptions and the data he put together way back then, and Dustin Pindell and Gary Smith are going to look at that. They're going to be our presenters and provide not only some history but some forward-looking, how can we continue to improve and capture value. Another great panel we've got on surviving in the beef business, so that'll be really interesting. Folks from all over the country, South Carolina, Kansas, and Texas, I think are where those panelists are from.
Fantastic. Well, it's one of my favorite parts of the convention. I really look forward to what you have prepared for us this year. Thanks so much for coming to the show and highlighting that.
Well, we'll see you there.
You bet. The 25th Annual Cattlemen's College alone probably makes it worth your time to head to Phoenix. The information and education available there is second to none. And you'll go home with a new idea or some new insights that just might change your cattle business in 2018. Reserve your space for Cattlemen's College and register now for the Cattle Industry Convention itself at the website ncba.org. Still ahead, we'll check in with Arizona's own cowboy poet, Baxter Black. And next, we'll visit a family cotton farm just outside of Phoenix. We'll be right back.
What does it mean to be an American cattleman? It means you have what it takes where it counts, on the inside. At Ritchie, we understand that. It's what's on the inside that defines us. We share the same values: ingenuity, commitment, sense of pride. These are the values that built this country. They're the values that built this company. Ritchie, proud to be a partner to the American cattlemen since 1921.
Stay Tough fence will last 3 times longer and is 4 times stronger than low tensile fencing. High tensile wire, solid vertical stays, and tight fixed knots all provide superior strength. You will use fewer posts, saving time, labor, and money. Protect your investment for generations with Stay Tough fence. Stay strong, stay tight, stay tough.
One of the exciting opportunities that comes from traveling and attending events such as the Cattle Industry Convention is a chance to see agriculture in a different part of the country. If that intrigues you, then you should sign up for the PreConvention AG Tour that'll take place just ahead of the convention on Monday, January 29th. Now, Russell Nemitz takes us to one of the stops that'll be part of that AG Tour. Russell?
Well, agriculture here in Arizona is over a $10 billion industry, and for folks making plans to join us in the area for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show are going to be treated to a taste of Arizona agriculture on the PreConvention AG Tour. And one of the stops this year is Kaywood Farms near Casa Grande, Arizona, and we're lucky enough to have one of the members of the family with us, Nancy Kaywood. And Nancy, thanks for inviting the Cattlemen to Cattlemen team out to your farm, and we're standing in a beautiful field of cotton. Let's first talk about Kaywood Farms and your family's operation, which has been around for a while.
Yes, the farm was purchased in about 1930 from my grandfather. His name was Louis Story, and then my dad sort of grew up on this farm and went to the University of Arizona and then had to serve in the war, came back and started farming west of Casa Grande. And then he eventually retired, but he was gifted this farm. And when my son was 11, he made the announcement that he wanted to farm. And so my dad put him on a tractor at age 11, and he thought he'd cure him, but he got worse. He got it. And so he farms this farm plus several other farms, and he's in the custom baling business for alfalfa. Plus, he's a paramedic and firefighter.
Absolutely. Well, all of you are very busy men and women. And as we talk about agriculture, a lot of folks who are coming into the state for this convention are coming in from all over, and we don't necessarily think that agriculture plays such a big role here in Arizona, but it really does. Talk about some of the crops you raise on this farm and what other farmers and ranchers are doing in this part of the world.
You bet. Casa Grande, we farm a lot of cotton, and we farm a lot of alfalfa. There's a lot of wheat grown here, and in the summer there's silage corn. There's also some milo maize that's being grown in this area.
Well, I have to admit that this is truly my first interview with a cotton farmer, and the pre-interview you were explaining what goes into raising a beautiful crop of cotton like the one we're standing in. For our viewers at home, talk about all the multi-purposes of the cotton crop itself and this wonderful fiber that so many people use every day but might not even understand where it comes from.
Oh, you bet. I'm going to show you a cotton boll, so I'm going to pull a cotton boll. And we all think of this as this is the end of the cotton. This is the fiber. This is where your shirts and your towels and your blankets and comforters come from. But if you open this up, there's seed in here, and there's a whole different market for seed. First of all, whole seed can be fed to the cattle industry. Cows will eat this with the little tiny fibers. The little tiny fibers are called linters, and out of linters you can make money. 75% of your American currency is linters and 25% of it is linen. Now, other thing is cottonseed oil, and the very first product ever made out of cottonseed oil was Crisco shortening. It stands for crystallized cottonseed. And then ivory soap, the soap that floats is full of cottonseed oil. It's considered heart healthy by the American Heart Association.
My goodness, don't be telling everybody about money coming from a cotton field. You have a bunch of politicians overrunning you every single day wanting some of it. You know, but you also pointed out an interesting fact that all of your cotton now is really GMO.
Yes, we are required by the state of Arizona to plant GMO cotton. And the reason for that is, well, you get higher yields, you get less insects, and so in the long run, we're going to get more money and we're going to get higher production.
Nancy, education has played a big role in your entire career, both on the farm and off the farm. Talk about the significance of what you people do here at Kaywood Farms in the area of educating both young and old.
Oh, you bet. It's my personal mission in life to nurture an awareness about natural and renewable natural resources, including agriculture, so they can be conserved, managed, and available for future generations.
Well, I think the cotton industry, cotton farmers, whether you're raising cotton, alfalfa crops, or certainly those of us in the U.S. beef cattle industry, we've learned that consumers, folks outside of the industry itself, they want to hear from the actual rancher and farmer themselves. And so being able to tell our story is really becoming more important every day.
We have to tell our story, and so many people come out here and they've never been on a farm before, and they're so excited to get out here, but they don't realize what the farmer goes through to get this into the ground, all the way to the cotton gin and then off to the mills for their clothing. And they're so surprised at how many times we go through the fields with tractors, or the fact that we don't like to use spray if we can possibly avoid it. So things that we do to control insects and weeds and the fertilizers that we have to put on, they don't understand that process. So when they come out here, most people say, oh, I'm so glad I came out here because now I know and appreciate how my clothing got from this field to the shelf.
Well, it's been an amazing experience for me and our entire Cattlemen to Cattlemen crew today, and we thank you, and we hope that more people will join us out here on the tour for Kaywood Farms. And if they can't, though, and they want to learn more, I bet you're available online through social media. Give us some of those details before I let you go.
You bet. You can look under kaywoodfarms.com, and that's CAYWOOD, and we're the #1 attraction for cotton farms. And so anyway, yes, please come and see us. We'd love to tell our story.
All right, well, thank you, Nancy Kaywood, part of the Kaywood Farm team here in the greater Phoenix area. Just one of the many stops on this year's PreConvention AG Tour. We hope that you'll join us, and as we've been saying, pack your boots and blaze a trail to Phoenix, Arizona, January 31st through February 2nd for the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. With that, we'll go ahead and send it back to you, Kevin.
The PreConvention AG Tour will be a fun chance to see a slice of Arizona agriculture. And if you're interested in where the cattle markets will go in 2018, then you should plan to attend the Cattle Facts Outlook Seminar at the Phoenix Convention. It'll take place on Thursday, February 1st. Get all the details and register for the convention at the website ncba.org. Stay with us. The cowboy poet himself, Baxter Black, is up next.
Blaze a trail to Phoenix, Arizona and the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the cattle industry's biggest convention with education, networking, and fun. Plus, you can check out the huge NCBA Trade Show, outstanding entertainment, and more. Don't miss the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Phoenix, January 31st through February 2nd. Visit beefusa.org for more.
We know you're up before the dawn because the cattle rise before the sun. And you spend long hours in the saddle because the herd isn't always over the next rise. And you care for the land because you know it takes care of your family. And we know you do great work. And it's time to tell that story to the marketplace. IMI Global is here to help you do just that. Ladies and gentlemen and followers of cowboy humor, in a moment of weakness, I, Baxter Black, have written another book. I appreciate it. Its title is Scrambled Wisdom. Almost isn't is it? Which almost makes sense. Well, our almost Christmas buy two get one free offer does make sense. $25 plus shipping. Call 800-654-2550 or online at baxterblack.com.
A turkey's thoughts at Thanksgiving. I always thought I'd do more with my life, become a writer maybe, but it was hard to hold a pencil, and I couldn't find a typewriter with the turkey alphabet. It only has 5 letters, counting the double B, and it didn't seem quite right to use a quill. Like any young poet, I entertained the idea of becoming a fireman. I found out I was flammable. As I matured, I became active in worthy causes like Free Tom and the Turkey Anti-Defamation Society and the 2-kilometer turkey trot to benefit the Dumb Friends League. And of course, how could I forget the anti-Subway sandwich protest? We held a sit-down strike in front of the local Subway till most of us got run over. But it all went by so quickly. And now I'm in the prime of life, and I look at my contemporaries. We've all grown and have big plans. I've been working on an International Turkey Olympics. Maybe hold it in Ankara with events like head bobbing, track leaving, egg laying for weight and distance. I know lots of people don't give the turkey's point of view much thought. They just assume we spend all day gobbling at each other and eating bugs and staring into space. In my case, I spend most of my time trying to think. Anything, just trying to think anything, and when I put my mind on it, sometimes I get an idea, as you can tell. The hard part is trying to remember it. Did I mention politics? I know, some may believe there's already too many turkeys in office, but I think I might have a chance if I could just establish residence in Florida. Oh well, people are talking about Thanksgiving. Everybody's going home for the holidays. Turkeys are a big part of it, I'm told. I'm not sure exactly what it is we do, but I hope we do it well, and that our contribution is appreciated. That's the black from out there.
Thanks, Baxter. We'll look forward to connecting with you again at the Cattle Industry Convention in Phoenix. We'll have more right after this.
Hello everybody, Stormy Warren here from SiriusXM's The Highway. Join me at the 2018 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Phoenix, Arizona. Come explore over 6 acres of displays from more than 350 companies during the best cattle industry trade show. Plus, you can have some fun with my friend comedian Bill Engvall at our exclusive Cowboy Comedy Club. So blaze a trail to Phoenix, January 31st to February 2nd. Find out more at beefusa.org.
Welcome back. Now don't forget, you do indeed still have time to plan a break from winter and make it to Phoenix to be a part of the amazing, educational, and fun Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. Airfares are affordable, and the value of the convention to anyone involved in the cattle business can't be beat. The convention is set for January 31st through February 2nd. And as we've said, you can find out all you need to know, register, and get your housing all set at the website ncba.org. Well, that wraps up this special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen and Cattlemen. Thanks so much for spending time with us. We hope to see you in person in Phoenix. It'll be a trip you'll never forget. And we'll see you again next week right here on RFD TV.